Hi guys, and welcome to Freckle Finance. Today I'm going to do a video kind of going over what I felt about this article that I read, and it was called The Shameful Secret. This was an article posted in The Atlantic. I will post the link below as a forewarning though, it is long. This article was about a writer who made quite a bit of money but didn't really manage it properly, and that's where the shameful secret comes in. He didn't really feel he was keeping up with the Joneses, but essentially he was. In the article, he mentions kind of feeling like he was on a tight budget where he could never really make his money work quite the way it did. And he felt like he was middle class. However, he did live in New York City and put his two daughters through private school. So I don't know if that's really considered middle class. I certainly wouldn't consider it middle class, but he really felt like he was a struggling middle class person, really just trying to get by on his income. Like many people, he made financial decisions without really properly assessing the situations, and there was a lot of cases where he felt like an expense was necessary, like putting his daughters through private school when there are public schools available nearby. He did not feel the public schools were good enough, but that's just an example of thinking that something is necessary to spend their money on when many people can't even afford to, and that's not an option, and their kids turn out just fine. If you've ever sat there wondering, this person makes really good income, why do they seem to be struggling? Why are they always broke? This guy is an example of why. So while this article is about him having not made great financial decisions and considering himself to be financially impotent, and he has become aware of this, he is not fully aware of everything. For example, he's kind of expecting his daughters to be his retirement plan. So this may be considered controversial to some, but you should never rely on someone else for your retirement. There may be a breakdown in your relationship with your child. You never know what's going to happen. Your child may not be able to afford to help you in retirement. You should never, ever rely on your children for retirement. So from his perspective, since he helped pay for the education of his daughters, including university, they should then help him in retirement because they will be established then. I have no issue with parents paying for university education for their children. However, if you can't afford your retirement, this is not a safe idea. Your children can go to university, they get their debt if they have debts from university, and they have time to work that debt off. However, if you're stuck in retirement and you don't have enough money, you're creating more work years if you even have the option, which many people don't. Your children should kind of cover the costs, if you can't, for their university education, and you should get your retirement dealt with, because I'm sure your children won't necessarily appreciate you expecting them to pay for their retirement too. And the reality is, most people can't pay for the children's education and retirement. So this article definitely covers a lot more topics than this, but this was kind of the one that jumped out at me because it's the one he's still not acknowledging, and it's a very huge and potentially costly mistake. So if you do have time on your hands, or you just really like reading these types of articles, definitely check this article out. And it does cover other topics such as how people end up mismanaging their money, their mindset that leads them to that, the fallacies that he believed that led him to his current financial situation, with one of the biggest ones being that he expected that his income would increase over time. And that was not totally true. He's a writer, so that's like especially something that a writer shouldn't assume, but that's not true for people who just work. And kind of to conclude, I just want to say what really kind of irritated me about this article is I don't like when I see articles about people making a lot of money and complaining that they're broke all the time and not taking credibility for it. And this, it brought that out in me. I have read other articles before where I make $250,000 and I can't afford to live a middle-class lifestyle in Toronto, which definitely isn't true either. If you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe, as well as you can like my Facebook page. I have content on there that is not on my YouTube channel. And as always, make sure you have a great day no matter what your financial situation is. Bye!